Okay, gentlemen, caballeros, you already received your instructions. Usted recibió instrucciones. Okay, right here is good, anything below is low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. Right here is good, anything below is low. Aquí está bien, aquí no. Keep everything above the waist, de la cintura para arriba. I want a good, clean fight. Yo quiero una pelea limpia. Obey my commands at all times, above all, protect yourself at all times. Escúchame, cuídate, listos, let's go.
All right, with that said, we're set to go here. Yuriorkis Gamboa decked out in the red with the blue and white trim, and Farenas in the yellow with the orange trim. On the tail of the tape, Gamboa is a half-inch shorter. Their weight's the same at 130. Gamboa is a couple of years older, and he has a 1-inch shorter reach. The rules under which this will be contested: 10-point must scoring system, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved with the bell on any round. Only the referee can stop the fight here in the state of Nevada. All right, round 1, scheduled for 12. WBA interim championship at stake. I explain why it's an interim championship. The guy with the real long trunks is Gamboa, and Farenas from the Philippines is, of course, in the shorter gold trunks with the orange trim.
For the third time tonight, here on the pay-per-view, we see a southpaw against an orthodox fighter. And one of the things to keep in mind about Farenas, he's got 4 draws, 3 technical draws, because of the fact that he's been cut. He leads a lot with the head, and that has prompted in 3 of his fights to have been stopped, and they were technical draws because of that fact.
And because of that, he lost his opportunity to win the world title against Uchima in Japan his last time out in July, because once again, as you mentioned, the headbutt. The cut stopped the fight, and it was a technical decision in the 3rd round.
Gamboa is just so quick. He's got a lot of power.
Tremendous power, and Farenas is going to have to avoid that. This guy, Gamboa, has been chomping at the bits to get back in. Look at his body. He's in great physical condition. Not that Farenas is not. But keep in mind what Jaime had to say about those heads coming together, because that's definitely a factor in this fight. Gamboa knows it. Farenas' people are concerned with it.
The last time that Gamboa fought, the fight was stopped due to a headbutt against Daniel Ponce de Leon. It was stopped in the 8th round, even though Gamboa was winning convincingly. You know, he won that fight, but, you know, it does tend to happen.
And they call that a technical win. Look at that. Gamboa took a pretty good left hand, which is a power shot, and didn't even blink his eyes, did he? And that was right on the chin. Farenas got to say today, what do I have to hit this guy with to shift him? He hit him with a real good straight shot. Left hand down and loads up the left hand, does Farenas. It's good to see Gamboa back in action. Former world champ that lost his titles basically because he was out of action for a while. Now that 50 Cent has him, he's going to become ever so much more colorful, as we saw with the entrance here tonight.
And all the raucous you hear here in the arena, the crowd just started the wave. They're ready to go.
Yeah, they're certainly ready for this one. This one and any other night would be a tremendous main event, but tonight it's just a warm-up for what we expect the anticipation of Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez has going with the crowd here. First round, you got to give that to Gamboa, because Farenas really did nothing.
What's up? We stretch up inside. We stretch up. All right. This is balik gamay niya hook ni.
And Gamboa.
Okay, no te desesperes. A tu mano izquierda, siempre saca el pie izquierdo.
And we were just talking about the headbutts. There's one. Farenas coming in with the head, hopefully. And there's Manny Pacquiao watching Farenas, part of Manny Pacquiao Promotions.
All right, here we go. This is round number 2. It's scheduled for 12. If the head continues to come in by Farenas, this thing isn't going to go 12 rounds. It's going to be stopped because of a headbutt of some sort. He doesn't do it on purpose. It's just his style, and the fact that you have a southpaw and a right-handed fighter doesn't help it any either. Okay, Farenas has got quick hands, slides to his left. He's one of Manny Pacquiao's fighters, and Manny watching him, as you saw on that monitor. That's a slip. Tony waves it off immediately. Gamboa in the red with the blue trim, and like the colors of Cuba. They are the colors of Cuba. The left hand gets through, and he rocks Gamboa a little bit. Gamboa, does he have to hang on here? Well, he answers with a lot of shots. I thought he might have heard of it just a second, but just as I thought that, man, he came roaring back.
Well, his legs definitely got wobbly. And that's one of the things that Gamboa has been trying to work on is his defense. As a matter of fact, he worked for a week with the late Manny Stewart, who was able to pinpoint some of those deficiencies because Gamboa has tasted the canvas a couple of times.
Yes, he has. And there's another shot there that both guys were loading up shots. Look at this. This is really a nice fight. Like I say, on any other night, this is a main event, and the crowd would be going nuts for this. But it's mostly anticipation now for our main event, which, of course, is Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez. He missed with that loaded-up left-hand shot, did Farenas.
And Farenas came in with the head first again. But Gamboa was able to sidestep that a little bit and avoid the clash.
Back and forth goes Gamboa, trying to set up for a big, powerful shot. Farenas has the same idea himself. And he loads up, but it windmills past the chin of Gamboa. Gamboa's kind of standing flat-footed right here. Comes with the uppercut, the left hook. Gets nailed by the left hand. You know, he hangs that right hand down a lot, and Farenas has got a pretty good left hand.
And that's one of the things that, you know, might make this for an interesting fight, just because of the fact that Gamboa's a little cocky in there, just thinking that his quickness and his power are going to get him through every time. And when he runs into someone like Farenas, who has a good left hand, a good left hook.
He caught him with a shot, and down goes Farenas. He'll be able to get back up, and he does, but his legs aren't totally there. The count's at 7 and 8. Tony says come towards him. His legs are really gone right now. Let's see if Gamboa... Oh, no, the bell ends the second round. I want to see if Gamboa is going to jump right on him. He's still staggered. They don't have the stool in there for him.
And here's where Gamboa looks like he might be hurt. He sort of trips, but there's a punch as well by Michael Farenas. And then he holds on a little bit just to make sure, but then he comes back with a flurry. And here's the knockdown. Look, a quick right hand right to the chin, and down goes Farenas.
Wow.
Here's another look. Look, quick right hand.
You talk about getting hit by a punch with power with the right hand. You didn't see that coming. Right on the money with that right hand.
Seconds out.
All right, now let's see if the legs have come back of Michael Farenas, because I don't think they're totally back. That didn't seem, you know, when I saw it at first, it was short and crisp, but punches like that can take a lot out of the legs. Gamboa not, just I was going to say, he's not attacking, and just as I get that up, bam, he nails it with the left hook.
And that's the thing about Gamboa. Not only does he have quick hands, but when he throws those punches, they're very compact. And those tend to be even more powerful than when you wind up.
You know, I mean, you mentioned in the last round about, you know, the cockiness in the face of Gamboa. Then he gets staggered. Then he came back really strong. You know, when you're fooling around with a guy like Farenas that has a history of cuts, and he get hit with another good shot, and his Gamboa all over him. Look at this, and battling back is Farenas. Gamboa's getting the best of this, though. Farenas showed some bottle there.
And Farenas is cut.
Yes, he is. He's cut by the right eye. So down in the second round, cut by the right eye. But I was about to say, you don't want to mess around with this guy because of the propensity for the heads coming together in headbutts.
And there's a headbutt And now Farenas is cut under the left eye because of a headbutt.
We got to keep track of which one was the headbutt, and it's under the left eye because it's significant for the next 2 rounds.
Stop.
If the fight has to be stopped because of the cut under the left eye, it's a no contest. If it's stopped because of one of the other cuts that were legal punches, it's a technical knockout victory for Gamboa. That's the difference in the accidental effort. Boy, that was a solid shot, but most of it was taken on the back of the glove of Gamboa. But you know, I just started to say, I mean, you shouldn't fool around with a guy that has a propensity towards causing headbutts. It's too dangerous. Gamboa wants to mess around with this guy, and I think it's a big mistake to fool around with him.
Yeah, just keeping his hands down. He's susceptible to getting hit with one of those left hooks, and he was already, he knows that he can get caught because Farenas caught him there in the second round.
Another good shot with a right hand over the, he's cut by the right eye, above and below the right eye, and on the side of the left eye. Nice uppercut on the inside.
Stop.
You know, Gamboa reminds me a little bit physically of a smaller version of Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he's a bull-like guy. But you know, Mike early in his career didn't mess around at all. He was all business in there. Throwing those shots from his hip and lower from the knee, those uppercuts. Nice left hook. I'd stay with that left hook. Round number 4, MGM Grand Garden Arena. We got to watch the cuts now, at least for this round. By the way, in the score sheet, I got Gamboa out in front, 30-26. But all that's kind of academic right now. A lot depends on these cuts around the eyes of Farenas. And Farenas is letting it go. He's getting everything he's got. They're going to wrestle each other. I thought they were going to go off their feet. Farenas realizes he's cut, and he's putting the ears back and letting it go. Wow, this is good stuff, folks. They both sitting loading up punches that time.
And Gamboa's being careless. He knows that he's been able to hurt Farenas, but at the same time, finally he puts his right hand up because his right hand has been low, and that's what Michael Farenas has been able to take advantage of. And he's hit him a couple of times with solid left hands, a good left hook, another straight left hand, and he's wobbled Gamboa.
Yes, he has. I'll tell you, if I were Gamboa, I would box him this round because of the cuts, and I go after him the next round. You don't want to take a chance. Oh, he got hit again! And that's that right hand. He carries his hands low. And that's what you mentioned, the late Emmanuel Stewart tried to work with him on that. Boy, I'll tell you this, Farenas is winning this round now.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we have, you know, being redundant, but a surprise here tonight because of the fact that Gamboa's being too cocky.
He's making a lot of mistakes, and he doesn't need to do this. He's been out of the ring for several months, over a year. A year ago, September, he fought. He's got this guy all cut up, and yet he's taking some heavy blows in this round. Loads up another shot. Oh, we're a minute 3, a minute 2, now down to a minute to making this an official fight. I don't want to see this thing end any other way but officially. But I'll tell you this, Farenas came out in this round to win the round, and I think he's got enough points in this round to be ahead, even though some of the heavier blows have still been landed by Gamboa. Farenas coming back. Gamboa continues to showboat, and he doesn't have to do that. Unless he doesn't doing exactly what I suggested earlier, just box this guy through this round and then really go after the cuts of the next round.
Well, you know what? Farenas is a very soft-spoken. He barely says anything during an interview, but God, he definitely can punch.
Yeah, he can. I think on 2 occasions, he's rocked Gamboa. Look at that. Right hand, right uppercut, left hand. He's very, very cocky. Sooner or later, he's going to pay the price for the cockiness. I don't know if it's going to be in this fight or not. All right, here we go. This is round number 4. MGM Grand Garden Arena. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan, along with Jaime Mota. Round 5, I should say. Did I say round 4? It's round 5 for sure. 4 are in the books. 39-36. I have it scored after 4. And they're right back at it, exchanging shots. Look at these guys go at it now.
Stop.
Gamboa now is kind of letting his ears go back and ready to go after those cuts. And that's, as you saw in between rounds, folks, was a low blow. Tony wants to correct that immediately. It's bad enough having the headbutts and the cuts all around the eyes of Farenas without having to go to low blows here now. And certainly Farenas can't afford to lose any points. I just don't know if the way he's cut, he's a bad cut in that left eye if he can hold up for the next several rounds. I mean, we're only in round 5.
And maybe that's why he's swinging for the fences. He knows he's caught Gamboa with a couple good shots. You know, Gamboa has felt them, and maybe that's why he's pressing and throwing punches, you know, windmill style, and trying to catch Gamboa in the next few rounds, because he might think that those cuts might lead to the fight being stopped before it should.
That's certainly what I thought in the last round, and it continues here in the 5th round, because there's every chance that this fight is going to be stopped some stage because of the cuts. But, you know, these heads could come together and Gamboa could get cut too. That's another scenario that could happen. Body shot downstairs. Now, we told you from the get-go that Farenas' susceptibility to cuts because of the style of fighting. It happened in his world title shot. And this is an interim championship fight, which is very, very important because it'll lead to a world title shot for Gamboa or Farenas if Farenas can pull it off.
You know, one thing that Farenas said, he says, I think I can beat Gamboa, but he did recognize he's never faced a fighter as strong and as quick as Gamboa.
Gamboa's strong, and again, I don't want to belabor the point, but I just wish he'd just fight and not hot dog it. He doesn't have to. He's too good a fighter. And the kid from the Philippines, you're not going to frighten him by any of this movement. And I don't mean the movement of boxing. I mean the posturing and gesturing and the hands down and dancing about, swinging the hands like this. Good idea. Farenas tries to get lower to get to that body. He pulls the trigger twice and it doesn't quite catch up with Gamboa.
And now Farenas, he's doing the right thing as well, trying to protect himself, keeping his hands up so he doesn't get caught flush.
All right, we go to round number 6 at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Colonel along with Jaime Mota and Christina Poncher. Glad that you can be watching us wherever you are around the world.
Stop.
Tony's going to take a close look at that cut throughout the remaining portion of this fight as long as it goes. And I like the idea of Farenas just going for it right now because his face can't hold up this entire fight, Jaime.
And in that last exchange, Farenas, when he finally was separated by Tony Weeks, he turned around and he closed his eyes as if he'd been hit by a headbutt again or something.
Let's see.
Something's definitely bothering him.
Farenas has got Miguel Diaz, one of the best cutmen in the world, but it'd take more than the best cutmen in the world to shut these cuts up. They're really bad. Exchange punches.
And there again, they were very close to hitting each other with a headbutt.
Well, it's just the position of the head and the fact that, as we pointed out, the southpaw and the right-handed fighter is just conducive for the heads coming together. But Farenas, you know, has that head tucked. And again, the fact that he's a little bit shorter, Gamboa, is the heads are going to come together, and they're going to come together more. Hot shot that time by Yuriorkis.
And now the one thing that Gamboa tends to do is he tends to, you know, take a round off or so But when he starts throwing punches, he throws them one at a time like he's doing now and not taking advantage of his speed and his power. If he threw more flurries, I'm sure that he could connect and maybe end this fight sooner than later. But right now, he's just throwing one punch at a time.
Well, it's indicative of the way he fights, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. In fact, he didn't even commit to that right hand, the left hand either. He's just sort of messing around right now. So this is the round he's taking off, Jaime. One punch at a time, as you said he would execute, and that's what he's doing, and he's glad to be able to do just that. Nice little bounce to the right, back to the left. And again, you see Farenas is nobody to fool around with. He's a very good fighter in his own right. 34 victories. His problem has been cuts, Manny. And I told you it's a primarily Mexican crowd here for the reasons geographically that I talked about, although there are a lot of Filipino people here. His Gamboa is starting fast now in round 7. If he took off 6, he's starting fast in 7. He may want to end it here if he possibly can. He's all business now, and down goes Farenas. He actually, his hand touched, and that's all that has to happen for the knockdown. It's up to 5. Tony takes a look at the cuts.
Come to me. Come to me. You okay?
That's his second time being down. He was down in the 2nd round and down here in the 7th. This time Gamboa's all over him. Farenas still throwing punches. Gamboa slipped and almost went down himself. But that's from loading up shots.
Stop.
Man, oh man, it's getting pretty exciting right now. Gamboa.
Maybe somebody told him in his corner, you know what, you got to go after him now, because he came out like shot out of a cannon. Completely different from the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Well, you put it out in the last round when you see him throwing one shot. And that time, there was a punch, but he was pulled down by the left hand of Farenas. So Tony Weeks right on top of it. Well, Gamboa's slowed down a bit now. Maybe punched himself out a little bit. Loading up the shot is Farenas. Whistles past the right ear of Gamboa. Gamboa stands in front of him, whacks him with the left hand. On his toes as Farenas walking forward. Not a good idea to come in without throwing, so he throws. But he missed both of them. Windmill past one side, windmill past the other. Farenas a tough kid. Man, he took some shots here in the early going in the 7th round. Got knocked down. He's right back up, winging big shots now. But look who's landing them. It's Gamboa. Gamboa lines up in front of him.
Most guys wouldn't have been able to get up after some of those shots delivered by Gamboa.
Yeah, and Farenas actually, at one stage, he threw a combination back that kind of put Gamboa back on his heels for just a second. This is round 7, some of the best action of the fight. Farenas was down in the 2nd, cut in the 3rd and 4th. Bad cuts around both eyes, and here he is on the assault. Off balance, little push there. And here he is, shoulders back and forth. Just playing with him now. Pot shotting with the right hand leads. Gamboa can't help himself. He's never going to change.
No, it's just part of his persona. He likes to be a showboat every once in a while. But look,
and it cost him.
Then he gets caught.
You know why he gets caught? Because he's fighting as a southpaw. And he's a right-handed fighter. When guys switch and mess around fighting as a southpaw, they lose accuracy of their punches. They're more susceptible for being hit themselves, and they lose all kinds of power.
As a couple looks at the knockdown. He came out quick, Gamboa did, and hit him with a straight right. And Farenas put his right glove on the canvas. Here it is again. And that's why Tony Weeks immediately intervened and gave him the standing 8 count. And here we go. Once again, Gamboa with his hands down, and he gets tagged by Michael Farenas, who just has absolutely no quit in him.
And again, if you notice, he was caught in that right-hand stance, and for the reasons that I pointed out, that's why he got hit. Back inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena, the crowd, as you can see, is in here now, because we're only moments away now from our main event of the evening, Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez, number 4, coming up after this one. Right now, we've got a very interesting fight. Gamboa is well out in front because Farenas has been down twice, and he's been cut throughout the course of the fight. But this is the 8th round. Pot shot by Gamboa. Is this going to be one of the rounds he takes off for the one punch at a time? Not if this guy is anyway about him. At time he pushes him down by the head. And you know, that's a good thing for Farenas to do. Guys being cocky, guys showboating, go ahead and push him down. Throw him down, do something. You're behind the fight. Gamboa decides to plant it. The heads come back together again that time?
I think there was another clash of heads right there.
It definitely was.
That might be the third or fourth one this fight.
At least in the close ones that haven't been real heavy. But the face of Farina is really the one that's taking the toll. But I tell you, this Farina is really, really tough. There's no quitting him. He's busted up. He's been down twice. And he keeps on fighting. That's right, Ray Wheatley from Boxing World told me I was going to love this fight and love this fighter. And he's right. I like it.
Ooh, good left hook by Gamboa.
Hard shot downstairs again by Gamboa. Gamboa hanging that left hand down now. Gamboa again looks cocky on his face, walks away, hanging the left hand down. Southpaw needs to get off that shoulder and throw his straight left hand down the middle and try and bang him while that left hand is down.
You know, it's really bad that he was not able to work longer with Manny Stewart, who I'm sure would have been able to at least get his attention because of the fact that he's so experienced. Everybody respected Manny Stewart and been able to, you know, work on Gamboa's defense, because that's the one true thing that's lacking for Gamboa. To be a complete fighter is to be able to have better defense.
And you know, I mean, it wouldn't be difficult to get him in a better defensive posture if he would stop hot dogging it, hanging the left hand, swinging his arms in front of him, leaning over into the fighter. If he cuts all that out, immediately he becomes a defensive fighter. And then switching to southpaw like he did in the last round and getting clipped, just unnecessary for a guy with this kind of ability, strength, power. He caught him with a pretty good left hand that time. But it didn't shift Farenas. Going to the credit of the conditioning of Farenas and why we like him so much as a fighter and as a human being. Quiet, mild-mannered, tough kid. Now let's a Gamboa around. Guys all in the truck doing a great job under the direction and production of Marty Cohen. Really super job when you catch stuff like that for us. Not so much for us, but for the fans at home. Here we go. This is round number 9. Scheduled for 12. Farenas' face is a mess, but he is not short on super toughness. Been down twice. His conditioning speaks to his credit. Very professional fighter. Gamboa messing around again with that left hand down. I love this kid as a fighter. I just wish he wouldn't do it. And I've belabored it enough, so I won't mention it again, because he's not going to change in this fight anyway.
Well, you know what? He needs somebody to actually tell him, somebody who's got a name, somebody that he respects, to be able to tell him, you know what? You'd be a much better fighter if just stop doing all of this.
Well, you know, since the passing of Manny Stewart, his dad is training him, which is wonderful that he's in the United States as well. But there are times, as most fighters will tell you, you got to get away from your father and get, as you point out, you know, world-class trainer. Somebody like a Freddie Roach.
You know, and I'm surprised because being a Cuban Olympian, having won the gold medal, that's not the style that they teach in Cuba.
No, but he's living in South Florida, and a lot of hot dogs down there. I lived there, graduated from the University of Miami. Look at him, he loads up his shot, and look who goes down. And Gamboa's actually hurt. His legs are shot, he get hit with a short, crisp punch. And Gamboa went down. He takes the 8 count, a really good left hook. And let's see what Farenas can do. And he's hanging on for dear life as Gamboa right now. He's still out, he's not recovered. Farenas all over him.
Absolutely, he's hurt.
His hands are down now, but he's not hot dogging right now. He's out on his feet. As you get the courage now to come back, look at the hands down. Now is when you need to be on instinct, and his instinct is to leave his hands down. He has absolutely no power in his arms.
And the crowd is completely on Michael Farenas' side. Everybody on their feet.
What a huge thing this would be if Farenas could pull this off.
And I told you earlier tonight, if he kept doing that, he might get caught and might get dropped by Farenas.
Gamboa is back a little bit. He's walking him back. His legs are starting to come around, but he's hanging those arms like they're very, very heavy right now. Farenas digs to the body. Good place to put that punch. Boy, what a shock that was. Good, crisp left hook. And we've got it from a couple of angles for you. Gamboa's not.
Here's the knockdown. It seems like Farenas is hurt, and he's going to go down. And then all of a sudden, there's that big left hook.
Oh, that would have knocked out a lot of guys. Man. He gets hit. You know what? They both threw the left hook at the same time.
And you can tell that
the difference
Gamboa was almost gone there.
The difference is the left hand for Farenas is his power shot.
And here's another look.
Watch this, folks.
Oh, wow.
We're getting the same reaction from the crowd in attendance. Now let's see if Farenas can pull off a major upset. I still get him 6 points behind in this fight. That last round, of course, a 10-8 round in favor of Farenas. Farenas has been down twice in this fight. Cut very badly all the way back to the third round.
And you know what else this does? It gives Tony Weeks also caution, because even though those cuts are bad, he knows that Michael Farenas has the power, and he can end this fight with one punch, so he might give him a little bit more leeway.
I'll tell you, Gamboa, from my way of watching this, is not back 100% yet. With a decent combination, but this time Farenas able to avoid it all. He slipped that time on the Tecate sign. And as you look at Gamboa, pretty flat-footed right now. The heels are down. That's usually indicative of very heavy legs. Farenas trying to get himself in position to land a flush left-hand power shot again. And see right now, Gamboa with his left hook, kind of lazy with it. The jab, he's not stepping up into it, pushing it off with his back foot, so he's making technical mistakes. And that goes back to what you were saying, where he really does need to switch trainers.
Well, he definitely tasted Farenas' hammer fist, and that's why he's keeping his right hand up a little bit, not hot dogging as much this time around.
But his punches don't have the same zip they had 2 rounds ago, or even last round. And he's still dangerous because he has so much power. And he's real serious right now. No smirk on the face. He pushes down Farenas. Crowd doesn't like it. Farenas' legs are got to be tied at this stage from the cuts and the amount of heavy punches he's taken. Almost caught him with another left hand. You know, every once in a while, Farenas will take that that Pernell Whitaker dip where he goes way down, and it kind of catches Gamboa off, and Gamboa gets hit when he does that.
And there was another good left hand by Michael Farenas, even though he caught Gamboa as he was moving backwards, and so the punch didn't have as much power as he would have had if Gamboa had been static.
Well, all this time is slipping away that Farenas can't catch Gamboa. Gamboa is getting a little bit stronger. As I say that, look at this, just able to slip away. That was the last round. Gamboa wouldn't have had enough in his legs to get away from those shots. His legs are coming back. They're not 100% back just yet, but they're coming back, and we've got 2 more rounds to go after this. Bit of a low blow. Here comes the bell to end round number 10. You're going with Farenas in that round? An even round because we saw it differently.
And you know what? I think maybe the judges might be taken aback a little bit by the fact that in the rounds where Gamboa sort of takes off the round, and if you want to give the round to the fighter that's pressing a little more, and that's Michael Farenas, this thing might be a little bit closer than we actually have it on our scorecards.
You know, the difference being now there's one knockdown difference. Instead, there were two. He pushed him down that time. Tony Weeks, by the way, doing a great job because it's been a hard fight to referee, and he's been right on top. Every decision he's made has been proper. There's that dip I was talking about, like Pernell Whitaker was so famous for, especially in his fight against Julio Cesar Chavez in the Alamo Dome many years ago. Kind of up and down, playing with that jab as Gamboa instead of planting it and driving off the back foot. But Farenas isn't messing around with his body shots. A little wide with that punch for Gamboa. Gamboa sort of messing around again, posturing. Boy, if he hasn't learned his lesson by now, I wouldn't mess around with this guy for 1 second of the last 2 rounds here. See him?
And I think Gamboa is back. I think he's got his legs underneath him now, and he's able to do what he wants. But he's got to be very careful because one punch can turn this thing around in a hurry.
But I mean, what's this mess around he's doing with the posturing with his hands and whatnot? He doesn't need to do that. And I agree with you. I think he's totally back right now. What's he walking away for? Enough on those punches, especially to rip open a cut to the face of Farenas. It's been a tough, hard fight for both guys, but Farenas is better open up now.
And you know what? One of the things that we've learned throughout this fight about Gamboa is that he's got tough skin, because with those head clashes and with some of those punches that Farenas has been able to land, that he's not cut, that means he's got tough skin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you know, another thing that I just want to talk about is that, you know, Farenas, with all these deep knee bends that he's doing, at this stage in the fight, he's got a very, very well-conditioned legs to be able to push himself back up as easy. That's a hard thing to maneuver in the first round. We're in the 11th round here, folks.
He must do a lot of squats.
Oh, God, yeah, he's got to. To be able to do that when the amount of punishment he's taken in the fight. This fight was cruising along pretty good till we got to the 7th round, and all of a sudden Gamboa whacks Farenas with a shot, and Farenas counters with a left hook and drops Gamboa. And the fight has been very interesting ever since. Well, the bell ends the 11th round. I can't get close to the edge of the 7th round, and then he got knocked down himself. Since then, it's been kind of seesawing back and forth, but Gamboa is comfortably out in front in the fight unofficially.
Stop.
This is the 12th and final round of what has been a very, very entertaining prize fight here at the MGM Grand. And I'm glad wherever you're watching around the world that you can be here for this one. Boy, did he lose some power in his legs again by a shot there on the inside? I don't know. Or maybe he was pushed down.
I don't know. I think that he was able to, more of a shove.
Perhaps. You're right.
No.
Yeah. Body out of position, off balance, I guess. And immediately when Farenas comes to him, he pushes him down in the head. He's got away with that.
Stop.
Do I see a little trickle of blood by the left eye of Gamboa?
I was just going to mention that.
Or is that blood from... I think there's a little trickle of blood. I'm not 100% sure, but you see it too. Yeah. He's cut by the left eye. And his left eye is puffy. And Farenas is a guy that's not afraid of blood. Loads up the left hand and just catches the back of his ear with his forearm.
Oh, that blood is definitely bothering Gamboa.
Stop.
Good thing for him, this is the 12th and final round.
Forearm punch can knock a guy out. You know, remember Mike Tyson against, who was it, Selden, Bruce Selden?
No.
He really cut him with a forearm and knocked him out.
Stop. No, come on.
Not that these guys are heavyweight punches, but they're good punches when they're 130 pounders. Farenas waiting a little bit too much here. He's only got 1 minute and 20 seconds to work with this guy. He's still, in my opinion, enough to knock him out to win. Gamboa relying on just about everything you could in the street to try and beat this guy and hang on there and let it go to the judges' scorecards. Hot shot, left hook again. Up on his toes. Well, his legs, you're right, Jaime, are totally back, as you can see. Goes fishing downstairs with the right hand. I protect the very high in the midsection of Farenas. Misses that shot. Catches him with the left hand.
And what Gamboa is doing now is he's throwing more punches, and he's not letting Farenas get off before he does, and that's why he's been able to control at least the latter part of this round.
That's not a knockdown either. Another slip and a push. Tony's made every single call right, and sometimes it's hard to tell when you're right on top of it like he is. We have actually a better view than he does because we can see both their feet all the time. We're out of time, folks. Last few seconds of this fight, it's been a good one. Straight right hand at the very end, off the gloves of Gamboa. Can't help but dogging to the end.
The canvas several times, and here we go, the second round. This is the first knockdown of the fight, where there was a good short right hand by Gamboa, and Michael Farenas goes down. In the third round, they were both exchanging punches, and they had a clash of the heads, and that's where Farenas got caught over the left eye. Then in the fourth round, again, Farenas was able to tag Gamboa, and it seemed like he hurt him a little bit. And again, in that last round, in the seventh, the second knockdown for Michael Farenas, his right glove touched the canvas, and here when it seemed that he was in trouble, all of a sudden he unleashes that vicious left hook, and it seemed like Gamboa could be done, but his great stamina, his great conditioning let him pull through all the way through the 12th round, and there at the very end, you know, just one last little.
Just couldn't help it.
Yep. Put his glove in his mouth, just like to say, well, I told you so.
Well, Michael Buffer standing by, and we'll get the official particulars. We think Gamboa's easily won this fight. Dick Houck, Robert Hoyle, and Glenn Trowbridge, the official judges. And Michael will render the decision momentarily.
From the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. Robert Hoyle has it 117-109. Dick Houck 118-108, and Glenn Trowbridge 117-108. All to the winner by unanimous decision. Now the interim champion, still undefeated, El Ciclón de Guantánamo, Yuriorkis Gamboa.
So Gamboa shows different emotion. His eyes sort of fill up with the win. He's glad to be back, I'm sure, as he gets the WBA interim strap. And now the next big thing, we'll see if he can get a shot at Takahashi Yoshima. If Yoshima can get by Brian Vasquez, who had the interim title until he signed for that fight. All that's coming up. That was a